I just finished the workout. I'm feeling hella good this morning. All right, y'all. So today we talking about city boys. I'm gonna go ahead. Somebody requested a video on my different experiences in different cities that I've lived in. For anybody who don't know, backstory on me: I'm originally from Topeka, Kansas, but that's basically Kansas City. That's why I say Kansas City. But I also lived in Kansas City as well, so it's all Kansas City. Um, then I moved to Denver, Colorado, fresh out of high school. From there, went to Atlanta, was there for about 4 or 5 years, and then I went to Houston for like a year and some change. And then I've also traveled in all different cities. So Miami, LA, New York, Chicago, Dallas, whatever you want to call it. I done been there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on like what to expect from each community, how they're different. The person also that requested this video, they want to know why I chose to reside in Denver instead of one of the other cities that I've lived in. What I like about them, pros and cons, all right, based on the gay community and shit. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. It's gonna be a juicy one, all right. So stay with me, fuck with your boy. All right, cool. So all right. So, starting off with Kansas, I actually did not experience Kansas's gay community until I went back in 2021 when I stayed in my apartment there. That was my first time living there as an adult. Ever since I graduated from high school, I have been out of my hometown, all right? Except for, like I said, last year. So, what I'm gonna say about Kansas City's hookup culture and a gay lifestyle, way more DL than the average city, like straight up. This one was like I could tell that all the dudes was like DL, and if they wasn't DL, like they was discreet or like they wasn't really relationship oriented. Some of them would want to, but then they would be so broken and just so like I've noticed that places where the demographic doesn't accept gay people is like the gay men are worse. Like they're just not equipped emotionally for any kind of grown up relationship or nothing. They look at other men like they just flings and fuck buddies and shit. And like I said, some of them will try to do relationships, and some of them you could tell they yearn for it and they want to try it, but it just seems like insecurity and all that shit kicks in more. I couldn't believe the whole time I was down there that being from that's where I'm from and shit, I couldn't believe that like I didn't find nobody that was serious and want to actually do this family shit when everybody down there has people that they do relationships with, but they have numerous of people. Like there's a bunch of fucking and hoe shit going on down there, just to keep it 100. Okay. Also, the medical field, as far as like HIV, STDs, the practice there when it comes to getting people right is fucking horrible. Like their healthcare system sucks. I believe that. Well, I was in Kansas City, Missouri, so that's a red state, and basically, you gotta have insurance, like real health insurance. You can't just go up in there and say like you think you didn't came across a STD. Because basically, when I went, I had my insurance still from Colorado, but they wanted insurance from Missouri. So I didn't have it, and they act like they didn't want to see me. They didn't want to cure me. They didn't want to have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But out here in Colorado, nigga, you ain't gotta have no insurance or nothing. Go up in there and tell them that you think that you done got contracted the HIV or something. Nigga, they're taking you in the back, shooting you up with all kinds of penicillin, prep. Cause for anybody who don't know, Truvada, which is PrEP in high dosages, can act as a plan B for HIV. So if you go in within 72 hours of being exposed to it, like let's say you caught HIV from somebody you don't know, but you think you did, and they told you or something, so you went ahead and went to the doctor. That's why you got to act on shit quick. Within 72 hours, they can give you a high dose of Truvada, nigga, and that shit could kick that shit out. I never had to go through that, but I've known the niggas who have, and they don't know if it saved them from it or not, but they don't have HIV. So, hey, just throw that out there. But basically, I feel like I caught the most STDs there, like as far as gonorrhea and chlamydia and stuff, than anywhere. Well, besides Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And so now I'm gonna go ahead and get on Atlanta. Now Atlanta, I think we all know that that's the gay mecca. Well, it was the gay mecca. I think Houston, Atlanta, and Dallas could be arguably the gay meccas now, but gay black meccas. You know what I'm saying? However, Atlanta's gay culture is still not as advanced as I thought it would be. It may be like that now, but when I was there, you couldn't like just go into a clinic where they would do testing and then get you somewhere where you could get the cure. It would only be a testing center type shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't frown upon them, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to just know if I have something. I want to get rid of this shit. Like I think I know. Like come on, 9 times out of 10, you go get tested for STD, you already know you got something. You probably got discharged or something. Like you already know you got something. So there is no like I just need to be tested when I go into a clinic. I need to get cured. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know about that now as far as up to date, but the gay culture there, I don't recommend having a relationship there. I I had a relationship there. I also was a bachelor there. Being a bachelor is way better. I had way more fun. Hella endless pool parties, nigga, turning up, like I mean partying, like nigga, fun. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? You don't even got to go out to the club, nigga, because the club will come to you. Shit. Me and my friends and shit, my roommate that I had at the time when I was in Atlanta, nigga, we used to have pool parties and hella niggas used to come. Like we would play games and all kinds of shit. Like we used to have a blast. I had a blast in Atlanta. I'm not even gonna cap. And I did not get into no fights in Atlanta. That's one thing I really recognized about Atlanta, because everywhere else, like I would get like a lot of niggas intimidated by me. But it seemed like Atlanta, like all the niggas just wanted to fuck on me. Like they wasn't on none of that drama shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a plus. And then the gay culture is way more like involved. Like I mean, that's the first time I got exposed to voguing, uh, ballroom scene. Like they would do like they ballroom and shit before the actual club started. Like you go to the club around 7, 8. They do in the ballroom. The club don't start till 10 type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can go up in there pregame, watch the show or whatever. Sometimes the shows be interesting. You know what I'm saying? I like the costumes and shit. That's what I'll be watching for. But so oh wait, I did get into one fight in Atlanta, but it was yeah, I got into 2 fights in Atlanta actually. I got jumped and they was both in clubs. The first one was in the club. This club called Cream back in the back in the day. Anybody who is my age and y'all watching me, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. Cream, my nigga. That motherfucker used to be packed, right? So everybody would be like walking on each other's toes and shit. And basically like this girl had I had just me and my bro had just got in the club, literally just got in the club. We walked back to the bar, get us some beers, and like we was some little badass niggas. So like we didn't even buy the beers. We just grabbed like they was so busy and shit. We just snatched the beers from over on the side of the bar, but they had the caps on them still. So you gotta have that tool to pop the cap off, or else you can't really get the Corona bottle open was what it was, which I preferred Mama Grenadine in it, but I went ahead and was being on some badass nigga shit with my homie this day. We was on demon time, all right, and I think my energy must have attracted some negativity because like as soon as we grabbed the bottle and we get to walking back like to where we like our other friends was to start dancing and shit and kicking it, why the fuck like this girl, like I said, is real packed, so we walking all up on each other. This girl like I don't remember if like she like she was basically like we were moving through, and I kind of like was like doing like this to like be like watch out, but I didn't think that I had like shoved her or nothing, and like she was just like nigga get the fuck off of me, don't fucking touch me, nigga. And she had two dudes with her. No, she had three dudes with her. Three dudes, three other gay dudes. And I promise y'all, I kid y'all not, this is one of my only bar fight. Actually, this is my only bar fight that I ever had that I didn't know these people, nothing. Like, it just happened. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, these three dudes pushed her out the way. Like, she was talking shit or whatever. And, like, these three dudes pushed her out the way. And they got they all three came up in front of my face. Like, one right in front of me, one right here, and one right here. They all came and got up in my face and was like, trying to, like, boss me down or try to tell me like I was doing something or something. I didn't know, but I was already kind of drunk, right? So, nigga, y'all, I had the bottle, right? I had the bottle of Corona, and I just was like, bam! I straight hit the nigga right in front of me, right? And like I said, there was two other niggas, so then like they all just started jumping me. And my homeboy jumped in and he got one of the niggas. And then like the other two niggas was still like me and the other two niggas is banging. Like I'm talking about, I didn't even know what was going on. All I know is I grabbed a hold of one of them niggas and me and that nigga was like, I'm talking about all around that motherfucker. Like I'm sweeping this nigga while his homeboy is behind me, punching me in the back of my head and shit. And so they literally picked us up. Security picked us up. And literally, like, I'm talking about they didn't even break us up. They couldn't break us up. Like, we had a hold on each other. I think he had my hair or something because I had, like, a curly fro at the time. And, like, I had his shirt and some other shit. Like, all I know is they was not able to pull us apart. And so, they literally, security picked us up because they got tired of trying to break us up. These niggas picked us up and threw us out the side door, y'all. Like, of the club. Like, we literally went from a whole bunch of noise to literally dead silence, and we on the ground outside on the concrete. Me and this nigga. Like, straight up, I'm not bullshitting, y'all. They threw us out the club while we fighting. Me and this nigga get up off the ground, and, like, my homeboy, my friends, and then, like, his friends, they all come outside. And, like, a couple other people in the club, like, yeah, we had got a lot of attention on that shit, right? And we stand up and like we get ready to square up again. Like I'm like, nigga, you don't know me. He like, nigga, you don't know me. And like we had made eye contact and it's like something like made us just go, you know what? Like the fuck is we fighting for? We don't even know each other, you know what I'm saying? And we just kind of like the police and shit like is what it was. The police and shit started coming. So nigga, they put me in the back of the car. This nigga was gushing. Like when I tell you gushing. I don't know if it was one of the other dudes. I think the dude that I popped with the bottle, because they put him in an ambulance and they put me in the cop car, right? And then like his friends and the girl was trying to tell the police that like, oh, I hit him with a bottle and all this other shit. Why the police come and ask me like, hey, did you hit him with a bottle? He was a black officer. He was like, did you hit him with a bottle? And like, one of the dudes that I was fucking with had came to the club with me that night, and like he was outside the car like crying and shit. And so I was just like, nah, like, hell no, I ain't hit that nigga with no bottle. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. They're like, yeah, they said that you hit him with a bottle and he's bleeding. Like, he has to go to the hospital to get stitches. So, like, if you hit him with the bottle, we have to take you in. And, like, and I was like, nah, I ain't hit him with no bottle. And then, like, they asked my friends and shit, and they was like, nah, he ain't hit him with no bottle. Like, what y'all talking about? Yeah, y'all. So they got me out there. He was like, all right, well, we gotta let you go. So they let me go. I got out the cop car and shit, and I think they didn't take my ID or nothing, so they didn't like, ban me from the club or nothing. I was in that bitch next weekend, nigga. Like, but when we got home, the dude I was fucking with at the time, he went on ahead and told me like, yeah, he was like, I was like, cause I was just talking about what happened. I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, he was like, nah, like you kind of like, you pushed her. Like you wasn't like just like on a gentle like, hey, you was like, move, bitch. Like, I was like, oh damn, for real. Like I didn't know I did all that shit. And so yeah, so I got jumped for that shit or whatever. But yeah, that shit was fun though. I ain't even gonna cap. That shit was fun as fuck. That was the first time, and the second time I helped my homeboy. That it's crazy because I was actually like, this was a dude that was trying to like bring me into his house or whatever. Like it was, like how they got gay houses and shit. He wanted me to be his son, right? And so I actually stayed with him. I stayed with them. It was like him, his boyfriend, me, and my. I'm still close to my best friend, like one of my best friends that live in New York, Tay. Uh, we all four used to live together. This was like my first year in Atlanta, but this fight that I'm telling you about was like my fourth or fifth year in Atlanta. And so I had been there a while, and me and this nigga had lost touch, but we used to be roommates. And I was friends with I was at the club with my homeboy Leon, which I'm still cool with. Uh, and Leon liked to do, he liked to do powder or whatever. So he was getting it from the dude that I used to roommate with. Why the fuck we in the bathroom? He trying to get it from him, and then like my homeboy Leon get an attitude because like the shit was short or something or something. I don't remember exactly the full story. All I know is like uh these niggas got to talking and arguing and shit, and they got to fighting. And so my old roommate, he was with his boyfriend, and like this is my homeboy Leon. We ain't fucking around, but code is the code. And I ain't gonna let my homeboy get jumped. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they got to fighting, and my old roommate and my homeboy Leon got to fighting, and then his boyfriend jumped in. And it was literally just us. Like I'm talking about, it was like as soon as we walked out of the bathroom, they got to fighting. So they were over in the like off to the side in a little corner where nobody was at in the club, and like they was fighting. So it was just us four right there. You know what I'm saying? And so they got to fighting, and his boyfriend jumped in, and so shit. I had to jump in. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. I jumped in, but when I jumped in though, the way that they started spinning towards me, like I was going for the boyfriend, but when they started spinning towards me, Leon turned this nigga towards me, and when I swung, I hit my old roommate, and so then my old roommate ended up like directing his attention towards me because I hit that nigga so hard. He started directing his attention towards me, and then Leon and the boyfriend started fighting, and me and my old roommate started fighting, and so me and this nigga's banging, and then we fight. Me and him is fighting. They still back off in the corner. But me and my old roommate, we was fighting. And me and this nigga ended up into the club area. Well, this is around the time they was still doing the like ballroom shit. The club hadn't even really started yet. It was really the ballroom little shit that they had going on. So when we had went out there, everybody was just like, oh. And like we had got the attention of the whole fucking club. And then I get this nigga on the ground. And it's like I'm pounding this nigga, and then the security come up behind me, snatch me off, and once again, every nigga want to grab my hair. You know what I'm saying? So he got me. I grabbed him, and then like they literally picked us up, and they got us apart that time. And then this big ass nigga carried me out the club, and took me outside. But then was the only two times that I had actually gone to a fight in Atlanta. My bad for going long on that story. I got sidetracked. I just was in the zone, you know what I'm saying? But all right. Atlanta is like, man, fun. All right. I feel like every gay dude and they like from 18 to 25, you need to go ahead and experience ATL. Experience one of these big gay meccas like ATL, uh, Houston, New York. Go to a big environment with some gay people, with some gay black people. I feel like it's a necessity to have that experience in your life. But like I fucking said, do that shit from 18 up to 25, maybe even 30. But past 30, don't be taking your ass down there, nigga. If you missed out, you done missed out. If you got to go back and you want to experience some shit, do your thing. But just understand, you have aged the fuck out, and you will not experience it to the fulfillment or to the fullest like you would have if you was younger. You know what I'm saying? That is a young, dumb, full of cum city, and I will never trade my experiences for the world that I had there. You know what I'm saying? All right, but that was my experience. Everybody didn't have such a good experience. I caught hella STDs down there, but I did not catch HIV. This is the reason why I be saying that maybe being a top has something to do with that, because I've been reckless when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how I didn't catch the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of other niggas I know. So yeah, but what else about ATL do I want to cover? The niggas from ATL are not as bad as the niggas who moved to ATL. Like the niggas who grew there are not as bad as the niggas who flew there. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Like the niggas who moved there are the ones that give it the bad name because they go there for that exact reason, to wild out, be a young dumb full of cum ass nigga, and have they fun. You know what I'm saying? So niggas who live there, they used to that shit. They be kind of tired of that shit. They be the ones wanting to be in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Kid you not. But yeah. Also, Atlanta is like every like manager, like all the jobs, like it's full of gay, like mecca, like gay prosperity or gay elitism. Like straight up, like all my managers that I got hella jobs because the managers was trying to get at me when I first got there. Like I worked at a clothing store in Lenox Mall, and shit, I got hired because the manager just liked me. He thought I was cute. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed all the other dudes that worked there was also like handsome dudes. You know what I'm saying? So like, you'll get privilege. You'll get handsome privilege a lot up in ATL. Like you'll get it way more than you will in any other place that is not like so gay black accepting. I'll put it that way. So a lot of gay black successes in Atlanta. All right, and now. Oh, also a lot of scammers. I came across a lot of stunt queens, a lot of gay dudes that do like that credit card fraud and all that other shit. Like a lot of them niggas had really nice shit, and I was trying to figure out how you got all this real nice shit. A lot of them was doing some stunt queen shit. That's where the term stunt queen came from. All right, so now moving down to Houston. Now Houston was definitely a good experience as well. I experienced a different side of the gay black lifestyle in Houston because that's where a lot of I experienced the sex parties and shit. I had never been exposed to sex parties until Houston, and I had a lot of fun. That's where I also got exposed to like the drugs, X and pills, powder. You know what I'm saying? This one dude, like he used to literally host after party, a sex party after every club, like every weekend. And this nigga's like had like a mansion, like a low key mansion, right? So just imagine like you at the club, right? You get invited because you just look good to this damn mansion party. You don't even know it's a mansion party yet, but you get there, nigga, and it's like a mansion party, nigga. Ain't nothing but a whole bunch of dudes going in there, nigga. DL ones, like niggas coming in and out with their hoodies over to try to mask their, identity, like femme dudes, mass dudes, like all kinds of niggas, right? You go up in here, this nigga had like this before LED lights was even out. Like nigga, every room had a different color theme to it, had a bed in it, different kinds of beds. Nigga, the main bedroom had a big ass like princess bed, like a king size bed with the pillars that with the shit that comes down on the side and in the front and all that shit. This nigga used to put a fucking tray of powder right in the middle of that motherfucker bed, and everybody just used to come in and get on that motherfucker, y'all, and like smoke, like passing around blunts, like alcohol, like it was like, man, like niggas was doing booty bumps and shit. From what I remember, I never participated in nothing but uh, weed, alcohol, and then I did do a little bit of the powder. You know what I'm saying? But all that other shit, I wasn't fucking with. But niggas would be coming in and that motherfucker. Niggas just be laying around on the bed. Like this is when I got to understand like what being gay, black, and like what our real culture is when you take us out of the homophobic shit and we just do us. Like I notice like niggas create brotherhoods. Niggas also be on some freak ass shit. You start to notice like how sex is like such a common thing, and it's like, but also it's not. Like niggas knew what, like, I'll put it this way, like the owner of the house, right? Like I started going like pretty often there for a minute, and me and the owner of the house was real cool because I was smashing him. He wouldn't let nobody else smash him because he's supposed to be like this dominant ass nigga, like this 6'5" ass, dark skin, like muscle body, nice ass, you know what I'm saying? All that. But this nigga was also like damn near pushing 40 years old, so he was an older nigga, but he was bad though, like cold, you know what I'm saying? And so he wouldn't let no other niggas fuck, but like he would let me fuck when all the other niggas would leave and shit. And so, but me and him became cool. Like I said, we would play cards with other niggas. Like we would literally just have fun, you know what I'm saying? And like he also had a shower room. Like connected to his bedroom. Like, it was a shower, big ass glass shower. Like, everybody go up in there, take showers, come out, fuck, go back in, clean off, go back out, leave. Like, nigga, like, it was like the perfect spot for like anybody who just was like, man, like, want to have an adventure or something. It was so dope. Like, all the different rooms in the house, and just that shit should have been a reality show type shit. Like, that shit was classic. But yeah, niggas would be coming up in there. Like, I fucked so many tops in there. Like, that's when I started to really become like, let me see if I could smash this nigga. Cause like, one time they had all pissed me off. It was like 7 or 8 of us in the crib, right? All fucking and shit. And this one dude came in that I actually invited off of Jack, right? I didn't know the nigga, but I thought the nigga was bad. I invited, he's supposed to be this DL nigga, right? I invite the nigga there. And like, he was supposed to be, he said he was a versatile top or whatever, but he said he mostly top, or and like, he just wanted the top. So when he got there, these niggas did like a lineup. Like, around the time he got there, like, there was like a lineup, like a centipede. Like, niggas was eating each other's asses, fucking each other right behind each other, right? Like, nigga, 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 nigga. And so it went from the bed all the way to the bathroom. So like, this nigga goes to eating a nigga ass at the end of the line. And so I get behind him and I started playing with his ass, and like, I'm about to fuck this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could tell when the nigga ain't been fucked, you know? And so that be making me, like, my dick get hard. I be wanting to get in that shit. And so I was like, all right, I'm about to fuck this nigga. So I get this nigga like to where I'm starting to fuck him. Everybody start paying attention because they all noticed that he was so masculine. They all was like surprised that he was even letting nigga fuck him. And so they all started looking at me with like this envy and shit, like, you know, trying to play with his nipples and all this other shit, right? And so I'm behind this nigga getting in this nigga, right? And so they all, I could just tell how they all just wanted to be me so bad. Like, they was all trying to, like, you know, like, tap me and move me to the side and shit. I'm like, nah, nigga, like, watch out. Like, I got this. Why the fuck I smash this nigga, right? I go ahead and like, I get my nut. And so, cause like, he was trying to push me off like every now and then and shit, like trying to get me off. And like, I was just like, nah, nigga, like. And so I get my nut. Why the fuck, like, these niggas, like, I get off this nigga. These niggas ravaged him after that shit. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, they pounced on this nigga. Like, somebody else got behind him right after me. And like, yeah, did the same shit. Like, and it just like really bothered me. Like, I don't know why. Like, that's when I noticed how territorial I was. I was just like, oh, hell no. I didn't give a fuck about this nigga when he got there, but because I fucked him, now all of a sudden I don't want nobody else to fuck him. And it was like, I couldn't change my mind. I couldn't do that at that point because it was like, shit, like, you don't know this nigga. Like, you don't know this nigga from a can of pay. You just met the nigga off of Jack. He, you know, at least you got to fuck him first. I mean, shit, you know, I'm just sitting over there to the side, like, and thinking all this before I start punching niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm crazy with that shit, boy. But yeah, but then shit, I got that nigga back though. Cause I was like, one night, there was this dude up in there that was like another hella masculine dude that used to only top. Like, there was a few of us that was only like topping, that we was known for only topping. And this nigga, like, nobody else knew, but I had already smashed him or whatever. So when I saw him in there and he was just topping niggas, I was just like, nigga, give me some of that ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one night when they had all, like, everybody spread out the house and, like, it wasn't that many people in there, and the dude of the house, he went and got in the shower, right? The older dude that I was, you know, smashing every now and then, this nigga went and got in the shower, right? And so the nigga that was out there that, you know, was also known to being a top like me, but I know I had, you know, smashed him before. I was like, nigga, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, all right, just stick it in and cut you. Like, you can stick it in and do it, but like, don't let nobody see you fucking me. And like, if somebody come in, you gotta hurry up and get off of me or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. And so he like leaned to the side or whatever, let me stick it in. And so I'm like, you know, dude, this nigga, why the fuck the nigga dude come out the bathroom, owner of the house come out the bathroom, right? And he looked at him and he saw like the position we was in, because we tried to like stop real quick. And he was like, hey, talking to a boy, he was like, hey, you taking dick? You taking dick now? And he was like, nah, bro, hell nah, bro. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he shut the door, went back in the bathroom, right? And so I was like, oh shit, like, you really don't want niggas knowing you get fucked. Like, Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, even in the gay community, there's DL tops, y'all. There's DL bottoms, like niggas who don't want other niggas knowing that they taking dick, like y'all. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all just gotta experience shit to know what's up. That's why I be saying that shit. But yeah, other than that shit, like we used to like really kick it. Like we would get up the next morning, niggas would make breakfast, and this nigga had a fat ass crib. Like I'm talking about, I think that's what made a lot of niggas stick around there because it was like you just, it was the kickiest spot. It was so like it was such a bathhouse like brotherhood ass environment. Like I can't really explain too much about what it felt like. It was just a combination of feelings and shit and just fun and just different and like different. Like I never fought nobody though. I never like nobody never tried to fight me. I never was like treated like I didn't get none of that catty shit. I didn't get none of that like drama filled ass shit. Most of us was mostly masculine around there and shit too. So that might be another reason why. Because he would only invite like you had to get an invite. You had to, it was an exclusive, private party. Like you had to be something that everybody would have wanted. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. Then we would ride around this nigga's drop top BMW, ride around in his convertible and shit, go to the club and shit. Like, we used to kick it, like, in Houston. That's also where I was bartending. That's actually how I met this nigga. I actually, K Sway or whatever, dude that be wearing the blue wigs and shit, the comedian. I actually, like, remember him, like, serving him drinks and shit when I used to work down there in Houston, bartending and shit. And yeah, shit, there was a lot of good moments in Houston. Good, I experienced a good like the dudes that I fucked with. They were good experiences. I didn't have one like there was like instances that weren't like the best, but there was not like a horrible situation. I feel like the Houston gays is just a little bit more put together and not as wild. Like, but they still wild. And I would say like Houston, Atlanta, and Dallas right now are the most popular like cities where all the gay black dudes are moving to, and that's why I would never want to move there. Anytime somebody talking about want to move to one of them motherfucking places, I'm like, I don't want to fuck with you. Anytime I talk to a nigga online, he tell me he from Atlanta or something, that shit turns me off. It just, I know what's going on. Like I know, like, all right, like you got 5, 6 to 10 other niggas on your roster. I'm another one that you hitting up, and you probably just going with the flow about shit and all kind of shit. Like who knows? Like it's just a very typical kind of thing going on down there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when it comes to relationships, it is better in an environment where it's not known for gay people, where gay people are not going there as a travel to, you know, uh, get out here in this world and start fucking around and getting to know themselves and all that. Like you don't want to have your relationship in that environment. It's just a little too much temptation and shit in them kind of environments. Uh, so yeah, the sex parties and shit was lit. I never actually got into a fight in Houston. That's the one I was meaning. I never got into a fight in. All right, and yeah, like he would have porn up, like different porn in each room. Like you would always be hella porn going on. Like it would be pitch dark in there because like so even like after 4, like that's why niggas would be so fucked up and high and shit and be there for days because like he would like shut all the blinds in the crib to where you had to go downstairs to the kitchen and shit just to know if it was daylight. Like because you like he would have all the shades dark as fuck. You could not see what time it was and nothing. Like you had to check your phone and shit. And yeah, that shit was crazy. An elite gay party, like an elite gay like house crowd of niggas. Like, damn, I'm trying to tell you that shit was nigga classic. Like, there was no other experience. I never experienced nothing like that in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, y'all, if y'all want to be in relationships, I recommend not going to one of these places and trying to find somebody. These are not that, all right? These are places you go to when you want to have fun and, fuck and shit. So a lot of y'all might, that's why I said, like, lifestyles do determine where you live and everything because, like, yeah, once I outgrew that, that's the reason why I did decide to. I got okay. That's why I decided to come on here and come back to Denver because, well, for one, it was job. I got a better job offer, and then on top of that, when I meet somebody here, I notice that they have an intention similar to mine, even if it's not exactly the same. They also do want to have somebody that they're consistent with. Like even if it's not a relationship, they want somebody that they're consistent with, right? Well, in them places like Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, and shit, like them niggas don't want that. They want like they say they do, but they don't. Like they get too distracted. There's too many. There's too much. There's so many niggas. There's y'all competing with each other too much. There's way too many options. Like you know what I'm saying. So, which is why I made that video. This is why you're single, which I made about a year ago. Y'all want to go look at that? I talked about being in a big city as to why like your chances is like you ain't find nobody. It's not like you ain't find nobody. You got hella plethora options, but that's the reason why you ain't find nobody. It's a big major reason why. All right, and what was I saying? Yeah, just the mindset and the energy is a little different based on the guys because yeah, I just get more out of it when I'm in an environment that does not that's still gay accepting but not gay black majority. I feel like gay black men are hypersexual because which every gay man is hypersexual, don't get it twisted. But gay black men are even more because of the suppression. When you suppress people, that makes them it enhances the fight in them of that shit to come out because it's being suppressed so much as opposed to where you know some like another culture of a person and it's not so much frowned upon to where you've been more comfortable with expressing it or experiencing shit, then you're not as eager. But like gay black men is like these little bitty ass kids in these candy stores, bro. Like straight up, there's really not another way to put it. And they don't even notice it, you know, like that's how bad it is. So that's just to say that don't be a city boy if you ain't on city boy shit. Straight up. Like Denver's still a city, but niggas be trying to fuck with you out here. Like I'm just gonna keep it G. Like I feel like places like this, maybe even Cali, because Cali's got a mixture. Of course, you're gonna have your whole crowd, but Cali, I notice, is also more conservative as well. Like they got different kind of gays as well. You know, New York, same, different kind of gays. You know what I'm saying? And I think New York is more advanced as far as like gay relationships go. So because they've been in this shit for a minute, like that's where a lot of the gay events from history even happen. You know what I'm saying? So New York is already on. So, but if you can afford to live in that motherfucker, good luck. You know. But yeah, I would say you know if you want to be in a relationship, New York, Cali, Vegas, Arizona, like you know Phoenix, Las Vegas and shit. Uh, I would stay out of Texas, anywhere in Texas, just because of the fact that like even if you're not in Dallas or in Houston, nigga, they ain't nothing but an hour or something away. Like yeah, I would stay out of Texas. Texas is for city boys. Uh, Atlanta is for city boys. Atlanta tries to have men that want to do relationships, but the majority is always ruling. So city boys. Uh, Anywhere in the South, y'all, city boys. Just because, like, I was thinking Alabama and them, but they're all hella suppressed, bro. Like, so they're all hyperactive sexually and very low in emotional quality when it comes to gay relationships. To be able to really be in a gay relationship, you have to have a level of exposure. You can't just be in homophobic environments and then be wanting to be in a relationship. Like you gotta have exposure to like openness and people accepting you in masses wherever you go, being able to walk around holding hands and shit. Like you gotta be able to feel like what you really doing is not nothing unnormal. Like this is very normal and okay. You have to embody that. Otherwise I don't think a relationship is able to be had with you. Like straight up. And any city where there's not a lot of gay people, I'm gonna go ahead and include, like, even though they may not be city boys, them is like country boys, and it's like the same. It's like the exact opposite. Like a smaller town, there's gonna be fewer gays. Most of them gonna be DL, and you're gonna only have to be able to choose from like a handful of niggas that have been passed around. So yeah, y'all get the jizz. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for this one. I'm definitely gonna probably make a part 2 to this. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, because Kelzo say so. Yeah, man.